back on the Ohio State Football Report. Big Ten Media Days wrapping up, at least for the Buckeyes. Other programs going on today, I think tomorrow as well. We've got several noteworthy updates to get into. Before we do, let's do a shout-out challenge again. Spoiler alert, Tyman The Buckeye continues his undefeated run in the most shout-outs. He had 117 in the last video, so let's tweak it again. Anyone who beats Tyman guaranteed a shout-out. He had 117 last time. If nobody beats Tyman, second place will get a shout-out on a future show. That way we can spread the love around and not just give it to the Chat Sports super commenter, Tyman The Buckeye. Let's go to what Ryan Day had to say on the quarterback battle. To no surprise, plenty of answers when asked about the battle and what he was going to do, and didn't give away the actual answer of who's going to be the starter because he doesn't know for now who the starter is going to be. He was also asked, when's the right time to announce that? And I think his answer was a good one. I've never really had a feel for when the right time is. I think it's important for the locker room to believe in whoever that is. I think that's, for me, being a quarterback, being around him when it comes to the locker room, that they believe in that guy, that's the right time. If the locker room doesn't believe in one, then you kind of keep trying to give them opportunities for someone to grab on to the team. I think that's a fair and valid answer. Because if your team, your locker room, doesn't believe in the quarterback and you just keep trying to make that a thing, you're going to lose them. It's not going to go well, and you're going to lose games. So it's, to an extent, a two-man battle. We'll talk about Tavian St. Clair on today's show. Eli Brickhandler's in that room. There are some other walk-ons involved too. But it's really Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz. Here's what Day had to say on Sayin. Sounds a little weird, but that is the proper term. Julian gets the ball out quickly. He's had a good offseason. He's intelligent. He's very competitive. He's got good athleticism. He's accurate. He named everything you want out of a quarterback, right? Accuracy, and intelligence, athletic ability. He's accurate. Didn't mention a cannon for an arm, but I don't really think Sayin has a rocket howitzer to go back to a Cardell Jones who had a massive arm, but maybe didn't have some of the other stuff that you necessarily wanted there. So I do think Sayin is in the lead position at the quarterback spot, but they also discussed the other man in the competition, Lincoln Kienholz. Just a tremendous athlete. You pick a sport, he can do it. He's like a 4 handicap in golf, which is lower than what I am, by the way. He can hit the baseball out of the park. He was a Major League Baseball product. He can windmill dunk. He can do a lot of things. He is a better runner than Sayin is. I don't want to read into it, but you wouldn't mention any quarterback things, which maybe is an indication of who's in the lead, who's not in the lead, but definitely is a very gifted athlete. That's how you end up at South Dakota in high school and become a 4-star recruit. So predictions. Who wins the quarterback battle? JS or LK? Obviously their initials. Let me know at the pinned comment of today's show. Jeremiah Smith, also playing it down the middle properly, asked about the 2 QBs, said, both of those guys are great. I just can't wait to see how the quarterback competition goes this fall camp. That is how you're supposed to answer that if you're Jeremiah Smith. You don't give one guy more credit than the other because the battle's not over. You just say you're excited about both. We got 2 starters as far as I'm concerned. Something along those lines. In the end, I still think this ends up being Julian Sayin's job. Maybe it gets announced roughly halfway through fall camp. The Buckeyes don't have the luxury of you even using the first game of let both guys play a half or something. You play Texas. As Dave pointed out in Media Days, you have to go. You don't get Ohio or Miami of Ohio or Marshall week 1. No, you get Texas. You get potentially the number 1 team in the preseason polls. You got to show up and be ready to play. I think Sayin is the starter this year. And if he's healthy, knock on wood, we don't see very much of Lincoln Kienholz. And he goes down the Devin Brown path where, he goes to a different destination and hopefully has success down that line. And I think Tavian St. Clair ends up redshirting. Ryan Day did mention St. Clair. I think the reality is he's not ready yet. Ryan said, quote, he certainly has the size, the makeup. He's a great young man. He's intelligent. He's athletic. He can throw the ball. I think he's got a really bright future ahead of him. St. Clair's a former 5-star, but he's also a freshman. He's going to need some time before, in theory, taking over the backup duty job next year, and then as the starter once Sayin's off to the NFL. Some more conversation on 2 players to come on today's show. But first, the Ohio State hoodie sale is still ongoing. This, I call it the different colored sleeve version, I'm sure there's a proper term for it, was 85. Now it's 35. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's chatsports.com/OSU hoodie. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Let's talk some Brandon Inniss hype. Jeremiah Smith had some praise for the young receiver who is primed to take on a decent amount of the targets that went to Emeka Egbuka. Obviously, Cardinal Tate's going to get more, but there's still a lot to go around. Here's what J.J. Smith said on Inniss. He can block, run any and every route. He's just a dog. I've seen it since we were little kids. He was in 8th grade going up against kids in high school and dominating them. He's been a dog and someone I've looked up to since I was little. He's definitely going to have a great year this year. The role reversal is kind of funny. Jeremiah Smith, I looked up to Brandon Inniss. It's very easy to forget Inniss is older than Smith. He was in the program first, but then, little brother, so to speak, got way better faster, and now Jeremiah Smith is the best player in college football, and we're hoping for a big-time breakout year from Inniss. Hasn't played a ton in his career so far at Ohio State, just 15 catches, but it's kind of had the I'll be patient approach. He was a top 40 recruit back in 2023 coming out of Florida. Number 5 wide receiver. Cardinal Tate put up 700-something yards last year. The number of games might not be as many for Inniss to get there, but I think he's going to at least match his career production. There's a chance he even doubles it, if not triples it. We are in a sub-battle this month against that team up North's channel, and we're losing, which is never fun. In fact, they are almost doubling us up. Let's change that. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/GoBucks. In fact, they are doubling us up. I think. I'm not very good at math on the fly. Let's talk Kenyatta Jackson. I hit some strong praise from both Smith and Sonny Styles, who were at Big Ten Media Days. Jeremiah Smith saying he had to wait his turn, but this year he's going to turn it up a notch, and you're going to see a monster. I saw it in high school. He could be a first-round draft pick. Sonny Styles. Jackson's going to be an absolute monster. I think he's going to be one of the best defensive ends in the country. He has the abilities, 6'5", 6'6", gets like 265. We think first-round defensive end. That's what it looks like, and he plays that way as well. That's some high praise for Jackson, and it would be a positive thing if he went from, backup to first-round pick in a year. That's a great outcome for Ohio State, for Jackson, for everybody involved. Are you buying the hype? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off in the comments of today's show. Remember that Jackson came out back in 2022 out of high school. He was the number 5 edge in that class. He was the 60th overall player in the 2022 recruiting class, but he's had to wait and be patient. He's had to take his time and let others emerge and sit behind JTT, and he probably thought that in 2024 it was going to be his breakout year, but JTT and Jack Sawyer all came back for another season. So Jackson, I think, is primed to take a step forward after a 1.5 sack campaign in 2024. He only has 3 sacks in his career, 25 tackles, 6 TFLs, hasn't had that opportunity, hasn't had that playing time. Now, with the top 4 defense linemen all gone, he is going to get that chance, and hopefully he lives up to the expectations.